everyone, and welcome into the State Champ Studio. My name is Sydney Carriel, and I'm joined with Alex Bunting, a bodybuilder, for a special feature on State Champs Women. So thank you, Alex, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so excited. And Alex actually is from, went to school at LTU, and then works here now, but is also a side bodybuilder. So I mean, that's amazing.
It's a lot.
I bet. And we're going to dive into all of it coming up here. So to start off, you do have your pro card, but you did start a new organization. So now you have to start from the bottom. Will you explain to us how this all works?
Yes, so in 2017 is when I got my pro card for a division, which was ANBF, All Natural Bodybuilding Federation. And that's what I've been competing with up until this year. And this year I wanted to get into more competition. I wanted to see more competitors, see what I could really push myself to. And so I'm jumping into an organization that's really widely well known, which is NPC, the National Physique Committee.
Cool. So, I mean, knowing that you have to start and work your way up again, how does that feel? Is it exciting, a little nerve-wracking? What's the emotion like?
It's both.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Nerve-wracking for sure, because I do feel like I've been a big fish in like a small pond, if you will. And now I'm going to be a really, really like minnow in like a shark pool. So it's intimidating. I never really feel like I'm ready enough. I never feel like I look well enough or ready enough to be stepping on stage. Which is scary, but it's exciting because it is new competition. So, you know, if I come away with any kind of wins or anything like that, that could be really cool. And if not, it's just an awesome experience to be able to put myself through. So,
oh my gosh, I can only imagine that feeling at the end, finally getting through it and getting up on stage.
And getting to eat like a cheeseburger.
I was going to say, we're going to get to that in just a little bit, of your favorite post-meal, post-competition meal. But before we get to that, let's go way back to the beginning. When did you get started? How did this become a hobby of yours? How did this become a sport that you wanted to start doing?
I kind of stumbled into it, honestly. I played sports a lot in high school and all through grade school as well. And then when I started at Lawrence Tech, at the time, they had like no athletics of any kind, not even like intramural. So they did have men's hockey, but that was it. So when I met my now husband, he started getting me into the gym, which was, I had done some kind of conditioning work and things like that for basketball and whatnot, but never just there to actually lift for a purpose. So it was all brand new to me, and that was like 2007, 2008. And so I really started to enjoy it, and I started going more, and then started developing my own learning, my knowledge of it, and looking for more experienced people to go with and things like that. And I got really good at it. I really enjoyed it, and I kept going. But in 2017, my husband's mom passed away, and it was something she and I had always kind of joked about doing together. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do it. And so I signed up for a show, and 4 months later, I was on stage, and that's when I won my pro card, and kind of snowballed from there. I never thought I'd do another show. I thought it would just be that, but I loved it. It was. I found like drive, I found purpose, I found confidence, I found a whole new level of appreciation for food and for, you know, my body and what it can do, and my brain and what it can do. So I just loved it, and I kept doing it.
Yeah, how amazing is that? And I'm sure your entire family was proud of you going through everything you had to go through, and I'm sure they saw how hard it was to get to that point. So will you explain to us what the process is like to get from where you're starting off to competition ready?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually a slow process. So this year, for instance, I'm doing like, I started at 22 weeks out from my first show.
Okay.
So I'm about a month and a half in right now. My shows are in August. But I start where I really focus on my food. I do, like, there's no meals out, there's no cheating, there's no nothing, there's no, really I try to do no processed foods, almost no sugars, things like that.
Oh man, what do you eat? Just kidding.
I eat a lot of stuff still, and actually, the more, which is crazy, but the more you, the longer you do it, the more your metabolism recognizes food. So in the off season, the more consistent I can be with my diet, the more I'm able to eat during my season and still be losing weight. So it's kind of a balance on both ends, but I eat normal stuff. It's just only stuff I make myself.
What are some of your favorite parts that you like about going through the process and the competitions?
My favorite process for sure is just seeing the constant changes to like your physique. You have to check in. I check in with my coach right now every 2 weeks. So I send her photos, weight check-in, measurements, things like that. I let her know how my weeks have been going, how my lifts have been going, because she's based out of Colorado. And you can see changes every week. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll be doing the same exact thing for 2 weeks, but because you're being so consistent, your body's catching up with you, your metabolism is kicking up, and you're just like burning fat. So by the next picture, it looks like you've lost 2 inches off your waist and you haven't changed a thing.
Wow.
But it's just the consistency.
Yeah.
So I love lifting. I could stay in the gym all day. Back's like my favorite day. I want people to like call me broad back, but
that'll be your new name when we catch up with you again.
Broad back.
Broad back.
Call me broad back. Ross would be so proud.
So I want to hear what it's like when you get on stage. You're up next, and you know you're about to walk up there. What are you thinking? What's going on in your head?
It's scary. I do not like being the center of attention in any way, shape, or form, as I've talked to you about today already. So I always joke that it's not me that goes out on stage, it's my alter ego, and she is fantastic. She's got like full makeup, she's dark, she got this crazy spray tan on, she's got a sparkly bikini.
Yeah.
But you have like a flutter, you know, you're trying to remember what your little routine is because you have to pose as soon as you get out there.
Right.
And they're watching, the judges are watching every move you make. They might not say they're not judging you on it, but they're judging you on it.
Right.
So you're trying to remember your routine, you're trying to stay nervous, you have to remember to smile, and then as soon as you start posing even, you have to remember to pose everything. So even if it's front pose, you have to have your toes pointed right, you have to have your quads flexed, you have to have your hips hinged back straight, lats out, shoulders up, smile.
So many things to remember.
So I feel like it's kind of like a pageant kid, you know, there's just all those, it's a whole routine.
Little details, yeah.
Yeah, and you have to be focused on all of them, but it's scary, and then as soon as you step off or as soon as you get done, it's like a big breath of fresh air.
Yeah. When you're out on the stage, and I know there's bright lights and the whole works, but do you try to look at maybe your family members who are there, or you do? Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
I always try to find my husband because he will pose. He'll sit in my posing sessions with my coach.
Okay.
And so he'll say little things if she's not, you know, sometimes she can't be all over the world. And he'll be like, shoulder down, you know, and I can hear him. Or if I see him, I know what he's saying, or, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So I always try to find him, and he keeps me grounded. So then I don't realize there's.
Yeah. Oh, we love that. I love that.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it's nice.
So now let's go to post-competition. What is that post-competition meal? What are you eating?
Oh, God. It's been a few different things in the past. I always like to get some cookies. So PDX Cookie Company, shout out. They make their mega cookies, and they're like over a pound.
Oh, don't tell me you eat the whole thing.
Oh, no. Oh my gosh. I think I would get sick.
If so, we're just be like, wow, we have a whole nother topic to talk about here.
But they're amazing, and honestly, you crave mostly like sugar and carbs because you've been able to eat meat. You know, you can eat meat, you can eat like small amounts, but usually like rice or potatoes or something like that. But you want like pizza, you want like a cheeseburger, you want something that's
something
like
hearty that
dirty,
you haven't had to have. Yeah.
French fries.
And then, so what is your pre-competition routine? What do you got to do before you go out there? Do you listen to the same music every time? What do you do?
Yeah, I actually like to listen to, it's called Fearless Motivation. They have their like motivational like speeches that kind of like amp me up. A lot of people think they're corny, and they are, but for some reason they speak to me.
Whatever works. It's only weird if it doesn't work.
Exactly. And then there's certain like food things that we have to eat. You have salt in like a container you have to lick, and like there's certain stuff like that. And then you pump up in the back with little weights or rope, bands, anything that's behind stage right before you walk on stage, because you actually have to get your muscles pumped up to be able to go flex hard on stage. So it's a little bit of routine.
Yeah. You don't realize how much goes into it behind the scenes, which is awesome to hear.
There's a lot. There's way more behind the scenes than you ever actually
Right.
I mean, all you see on stage is the bikini, let alone like the bikini itself. You have to hire someone to custom make that for you, who has to bedazzle that thing and ship it to you. They have to get measurements from you 3 different times throughout the process. Like,
Right.
everything has a very specific, long background of how it happens.
One last final thing, for any female who would want to get into this sport of bodybuilding, what would you say to them?
I'd say just have patience. You know, a lot of times we want things to happen right away, and especially in this sport, that's not at all true.
Right.
Like we just talked about, I'm going 22 weeks out from a show to be ready to stand on stage there. And then also, if you do get into it and if you enjoy it and if you stick with it and you get on stage, just remember to have patience afterwards. There's a lot of the process that you have to do afterwards. You can't just jump back into normal life. You have to slowly bring yourself back, or you can have a ricocheting effect, which is very
Never good.
Unpleasant. No,
Right.
no. But definitely do it if you're excited about it and you can do it and you have the patience and you have friends and family that will support you because you need that. Go for it.